Say it loud.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Welcome to Watch Mojo's Top 5 Facts, the series where we discuss interesting bits of information that may have been glossed over in history class. In this installment, we'll be counting down the top 5 facts about Black history that celebrate 3 simple words. Black is beautiful. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. Number 5. Black History Month started as Black History Week.
Hold up! It's that time of the year again. It's our month to shine. Everybody lend your ear again.
28 or 29 days isn't nearly enough time to discuss the accomplishments of the Black community, so we can't imagine only having 7. But that was the case in 1926, when author and historian Carter G. Woodson launched the celebration of Negro History Week in the hopes of highlighting the community during a time when their efforts were being ignored. In 1969, the leaders of the Black United Students at Kent State University proposed an extension, and 7 years later, or 50 years after the week's inception, the US government made the month official. Honoring Black excellence isn't exclusive to the US. Both the UK and Canada participate, with the UK celebrating in October and Canada following suit with the US's February recognition.
No person can imagine where he's going unless he knows where he's been.
Number 4. Black colleges offered opportunities to other discriminated communities. Black history has had an impact on, well, everyone. We don't just mean the majority, we mean other minority groups that have had to deal with oppression. Black institutions have a history of opening their doors to other groups who, at the time, didn't have anywhere else to go. A prime example of this being the Jewish community.
Historically, these institutions have admitted students of all races, and now almost 40% are other than African American.
In the 1930s, Jewish teachers came to the US in hopes of finding jobs after losing their positions in Austria and Germany. Unfortunately, the words of the day were xenophobia and anti-Semitism. But Black historical colleges ignored those words and employed over 50 Jewish academics. Not only did this create a safe environment for them to work in, but it allowed Black and white individuals to engage in important conversations.
They have been driven by the fundamental belief that all of our citizens should have access to a higher education if they so desired.
Number 3. Allensworth was the first all-Black township in California.
I am Jefferson Allensworth Lamb. Jefferson for he who framed our fine Constitution, Allensworth for he who found a community of free Blacks, and Lamb because I like to eat lamb chops.
If you build it, they will come, especially if it means getting away from racial discrimination. That was the goal for Allen Allensworth, a man who was born into slavery and who'd later become the first African American to become a lieutenant colonel. After his army days, him and his family moved to California, where he began to implement his dream, creating an all-Black community where they would be allowed to thrive and be free of discrimination. The town had many great successes, including having California's first African American school district. Even after Colonel Allensworth died in 1914, and when people started leaving to pursue jobs during World War II, the town continued on and is still around today. Its downtown area now stands as the Colonel Allensworth State Historic Park, and there are still residents who live outside of it. Number 2. Claudette Colvin did Rosa Parks before Rosa Parks. Despite their impressive history, Black women don't always get the recognition they deserve. Of course, there are women we talk about every February, such as Claudette Colvin and her refusal to give up her seat on the bus. Oh, what's that? You believe we're referring to Rosa Parks? Yes, it's true that Miss Parks was the catalyst to the Montgomery bus boycott, but 9 months before this historical moment, 15-year-old Claudette was the first to ever be arrested for not giving up her seat, as she insisted that it was her constitutional right.
And I felt like this is my time to take a stand for justice.
She may not have gotten the recognition at the time, but her impact is undeniable.
I just wanted people to come together and unify and fight this segregation.
Number 1. There have been many notable achievements in Black geekery. For some reason, people are surprised when Black nerds, or blurds, if you prefer, enter the scene.
I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, and the nerdy.
In reality, they've been here the entire time. In fact, we wouldn't have some of the geekery we hold dear without them. Meet Gerald A. Jerry Lawson, the man responsible for home video game consoles with his Fairchild Channel F, the first system to use interchangeable cartridges. If you're a movie buff, check out Mark Hanna, who developed the 3D graphics technology used in a lot of movies, including a little-known flick about dinosaurs in some park. You even have Black geeks to thank for the Super Soaker, invented by Lonnie Johnson. Because really, what's nerdier than running around with epic water guns? This epic black cosplay movement. That's what. We hope we've enlightened you about the significance of Black history, because we barely scratched the surface of the accomplishments of the Black community.
Our school has a fine library, or so I've been told, where any student who wants to can study more about Black history.